Hello. Thank you guys for joining us. We have an interesting show today. So we want you to make sure you guys hit the like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. And this channel, Speak the Truth, is we're non-biased. We look at the left, we look at the right. We do lean more towards the right. But when we're not in agreement with something, we are going to call it out. So we expect some engaging conversation. And this is pretty much our stance. I don't remember my script and I don't have a teleprompter, so I have to read it. Trump and Pirro rolls back Biden's 1994 crime bill to target black children. Years in jail threatened. As a longtime Trump supporter, I never thought I'd be questioning the direction this movement is heading, but here we are. In this video, we take a hard look at Trump and Judge Janine Piro recent push to roll back parts of Biden's 1994 crime bill. While it may sound like justice reform on the surface, it's raising serious concerns. Black children and teens are once again being caught in a political crossfire, which harsh sentencing and aggressive policies threatening to send a new generation to prison. This isn't the America First justice system we were promised. The challenge is about honest conversation, even when it means holding our own side accountable. Like, share, and subscribe if you're here for real talk, not party lines. So that's how we're starting it out. And we want to mention our members. Thank you guys for being the members. And think about joining our membership. And we do have a new product. We're going to do a contest and a giveaway. SpeakTheTruth.com. You could go there and see that we have something special. We want to say hi to our members: Karen Leah Holland, Kay Cooper, Jeremy Stick, Chef Chevy TV, Debbie P, Kevin Laws, and Debbie Gossi. So we want to get all that out of the way. And we're going to dive in and we're going to look at all perspectives. And,
Mr. Booski said
and hi, Mr. Booski. And we want to let people know we are not for crime. Okay? This is not justifying crime and all that. But we're going to dive and take a look to make sure that history doesn't repeat itself like the 1994 crime bill. And this seems to look like they're using the playbook from back there. But we are going to see if there's truths, if it's not true, if this is just targeted black cities, black communities, because we are not at the head of the food chain for crimes. You could go back and look at the video I did, I guess it might have been yesterday or the day before, with New York Mayor Bowser, and I put the statistics up in comparison to other ethnicities, the crime rate, and it's not us. But the news media have done a job, I need your phone, has done a job weaponizing our what we see. They're influential, and they can have us believe whatever it is that they're pushing. And black people for such a long time a stereotype, no matter how far we come up, no matter what our education experience is, no matter what we do, we are looked at and targeted. And it has to stop because there's crime in every neighborhood. You can live have a mansion. You could live in Beverly Hills. There's crime. It's crime everywhere. It's not in certain places. But when the media doesn't show you all the crime, like all these mass shootings that have been going on the last few days, there's nothing about that. Guy goes in, killed 3 people at Target, white dude. Of course, it's going to always be mental illness or something like that. Hijack a car. His injuries because he crashed the second car he hijacked. And another guy, CDC, they don't talk about that. He goes in, kills a black police officer. He unloaded, I think, like 158 rounds of gunfire, and then he killed himself. So it's like we have selective television. And then you have a group of young people, they're fighting one another. A big brawl. They're just now arresting them. I think that happened in Austin, Texas. And, that's not newsworthy. So it depends on where you are. We got to stop, as Americans, trying to continue the stereotype about the black community. We got to call it out. And there are things that can be done. And we need to look into it. And we want to look at Ms. Pirro. We're going to hear what she has to say first, because she was brought in. by Trump to do what she's doing. And I think that we're always behind the eight ball, that when we find out is, they have already thought this all out. They have already decided that they want to go out to all the cities that are black mayors, and irregardless how crime, even in the United States, is way down. And a lot of these places they're talking about, including Washington, it was really not a state of emergency. But now you have officers walking around, the FBI, not officers, but the FBI, National Guards have called on American citizens. And you have people that are literally sitting on their properties and they're coming up to them. It's almost like asking for their papers. It's like, well, do you have ID? They're on their property sitting down. So my advice to black people in Washington is, especially if you're a young person, because they're going after children too. So it doesn't matter if you're 12, but you might look 16, or you might be 11, you might look 14, whatever the case. It's best for you to stay in the house. Stay in the house. You're being literally targeted. Stay in the house. Don't go outside. Go play with your PlayStations inside the house. Go online to talk to your friends. But if you're walking around, especially, you could be going bowling, or you could just be hanging out or doing something for the summer. But if there's two or more you're going to be targeted. And I believe personally that what triggered Trump was that young intern that was working for Elon Musk for Doge. When he had gotten beaten up, that did everything. So now all black children are classified, and the president of the United States called them thugs.
To the people,
thugs.
To the people in the chat that's going against what my mom is saying,
It's expected.
You're not getting that when you're raised in a certain environment, it shapes your decision making. So comparing someone who's raised in Beverly Hills to someone who's raised in the hood, they're going to be totally different because of how they were raised and the influences around them. So you're not the same if being born in different places. You're not going to be the same. Because of your friends, your sisters, your family, the people around you, what you see, what you hear, the different influences from music and movies, you're going to be different depending on where you were raised at.
And the thing about it is that when you target a certain group of people, like there's not crimes in white neighborhoods, like there's not crime in Asian or Hispanic neighborhoods, because that's a lie from hell. It's crime everywhere, and we're not even the leaders in crime. Like I said, you can go back to my video. It's like 4 million, like 189,000 white people commit crimes in comparison to 1,800,000 black people. That's a vast difference, especially that we are targeted 5 times more than any other race. And even with us being targeted, white brothers and sisters still commit more crimes, but it's not newsworthy. It's not on the news. They commit more rapes, they commit more burglaries, commit more of a lot of things, but we're the face of it, just like we're the face of DEI. It's like the media influence, even though we don't benefit from DEI, but they'll see a black person with an executive job. Oh, they had to hire. No, they were the top of their class. We are not in the 1960s. This is 2025. We are educated. We are business owners. We are politicians. We are doctors, lawyers, engineers, you name it. We're in every profession. We're inventors. We're multi-millionaires. We're the second highest money-making group in this country. So we must be doing something. We're not poor, all of us. We're not impoverished. They look at one segment, and that's what's highlighted. And that's in every community. You have lower earning in every community. And it matters what's given. God did not create a segment of people smarter than the other. That's a fact. He gave us all the same capabilities. That's a fact. Your environment matters. I don't have sons that are thugs. I have young men that are college educated, that have given, have made a mark in society. My oldest son is in the military along with his wife. I have cousins, and I've said this in other lives, uncles, and our family has a lot of military, and we have police officers. So we are not categorized like that. We all own single homes. We all drive luxury cars. We all are movers and shakers.
Come on, man. What do you think God's gonna think of you when you see God one day and you being racist?
And you know what? Anybody that's being racist, this is breaking news. There's no all-white section in heaven, or black section, or Asian section. We're the human race. You think that God's going to separate you according to what your skin tone was here on earth? He made us all perfectly and wonderfully made. We're the apple of God's eyes. So when you stand before God and you want to talk about pigmentation, now they say he got woolly hair in the Bible. Don't let God be a God of color, because you're going to have a rude awakening. But it's not about that. We have to do what's right while we're here on earth. Nobody is smarter. It's just called different opportunities. Different opportunities, different environments. Eli, I need you, when you get a chance, put your phone. I'm going to give you statistics, and I'm going to give you records, and I'm going to prove everything that I am saying.
Shooting an individual in the chest, which to me is intent to kill, and he walked away. After we convicted him, he walked away with no jail time. If that's what you want in this district, then I'm the wrong person to be United States Attorney.
So, new U.S. Attorney for D.C., Janine Piro, laying down the law at yesterday's DOJ news conference. Pirro took on reporters for citing crime stats, saying she's more concerned about the victims and their families. She joins us now. And I think you are the living embodiment of the phrase, right place at the right time. And you've been there for a few weeks now. Some of the things that you've seen are very disturbing. You have thoughts on how you think things could get solved. But in the commercial break, you were talking about one thing that has really troubled you, and that is the homicide rate of young people.
Yeah. First of all, it's great to be with you, Bill and Dana. Of course, I miss all my friends at Fox, but I am, in my element here. The truth is that I just, kind of on a whim, just said, let me see the number of homicides of teens last year in D.C. and this year in D.C. You're looking at the 2024 kids who were shot and killed with firearms in 2024. There were 29 of them. Okay, every one of them is an African-American minority community. This is the community that's being victimized by violent crime. Now, in 2025, we've got 16, again under the age of 19, who have been shot and killed as a result of a firearm. So totally, we've got 45 African-American kids who've been killed. And the crucial point right now is that the clearance rate is 30%. What does that mean? That means that they've only solved 30% of the homicides of these teens in the last year and 7 months. That means that 70% of the murders that were committed with guns against teens in the minority community, of those 70% of the murderers are walking around free. We don't know who they are because the cases have not been solved. And therein lies the problem. Young criminals in D.C. have been emboldened to commit crimes because they believe that they're not accountable. And why do they believe that? Because they are not accountable. We've got a D.C. council that has passed laws that make it almost impossible for me, as both federal prosecutor and kind of quasi-local prosecutor, to be able to incarcerate these kids. I can't even prosecute a teen who's 17, 18, 19 years old. Forget the 14, 15-year-olds who shoot someone with a gun. If you shoot someone with a gun in D.C. and you're up to 19 years of age, I can't even indict you.
Well,
and
you
so this
could,
is a message.
just to jump in here, you could if the D.C. Council changes the laws.
Right,
And
but
so
the laws are tying my hands.
I got you. Let me just show our audience what you're trying to get the D.C. Council to do. You want them to repeal the Youth Rehabilitation Act, the Incarceration Reduction Amendment Act, and the Second Chance Amendment Act. I read through this, Janine. You're basically trying to
keep them.
I just wanted to figure out where he gets us.
Eliminate the reductions in sentencing for serious crimes especially, and also to get away from hiding the record from those in the future who would look back on on the crimes for which they were convicted.
Yeah.
Do I have that right? And if I do, how would that change crime in Washington?
Well, what it would do is it would make people accountable, number one, and we're also looking to lower the age of criminals. What's happening is, even if you shoot someone with a gun, you go to family court where the purpose is rehabilitation, you get to go to an ice cream social, and you get to go to yoga classes. That's nonsense, and that's not what we need in the nation's capital, and that's not why the president put me here. The president wants to make the Capitol safe and beautiful, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And the only way to do that is to change the laws that have protected young children who are committing adult crimes. And all of these statutes that they passed don't allow me to incarcerate. They allow the removal or the erasure of convictions. How fair is that to a parent who wants to find out whether or not a nanny is someone who's been convicted of a prior assault? How fair is that to an employer who doesn't get to understand or know who he's hiring? Everything about the D.C. Council and the laws that they've passed are liberal, they're defense-leaning, and they're not in favor of the citizens of D.C. And that's what President Trump is fighting, and that's what we're going to change. We're going to change the laws.
We want to pause right there because, it's like, to me, there's a bigger plan, and this is what I believe that's going on. I believe once the Doge young man was assaulted, because we already know that Elon, allegedly, he is 100% racist. I believe that Trump was triggered by him to go after the black young people, because what they did, they're going to make all children and the black community pay for it, because black people don't just go and attack white people. That's not just something that we do. But we are attacked all the time. We're beaten and we're even killed by mobs of white people or even police officers. It's the truth. It happens. But they're not thugs. They're not labeled the people that just killed them people in Target, those mass murderers. They never call them thugs. They always put up a picture look like they just got through being a Boy Scout. They get the family pictures. Even Trinidad Araga, Kilmar Garcia, they had him as a family man. But when it comes to black people, they try to find pictures that show us looking threatening in the worst light, behind bars, and this is someone that you need to be afraid of. But now in 2025, you have a lot of families that are blended. There are a lot of people that you wouldn't believe have black relatives, have black children, grandmothers, aunts, uncles. So we're a blended country. But this person that's talking, Judge Jeanine, has a long history of using inflammatory language on Fox News, where she often criticized harshly, framing protests or crimes involving black individuals, rarely applying the same energy or language to white perpetrators of violence, using terms like thugs. We heard that before. We gave you a definition of thugs the other day. We're going to bring that back up when people say thugs and what that implements when you're calling and labeling a child or a young person a thug.
Josh, you are not black. You're not black saying that.
Using terms like thug, law and order is racially coded context. As a vocal supporter of Donald Trump and right-wing policies, she often echoes narratives that blame social unrest on black communities, advocate for increased policing or federal crackdowns, especially during protests related to racial justice, selective outrage. Critics argue that Pirro and others in her media space frequently amplify isolated acts of violence involving black individuals while downplaying systematic issues or white perpetrated violence, creating a distorted, realist, racialized view of crime. Historical context. Many black Americans are highly sensitive to patterns of over-policing, stereotyping, and political dog whistling. Pirro language and platform often reflects these patterns, whether or not she explicitly says her views are racially motivated. So this is the woman that does all this dog whistling and have everything to say. She has a history of having this attitude. This is the person that Trump got from Fox News to go to Washington And I believe because of what happened to the Doge employee, it triggered Elon, whatever he got on Trump. I don't know what's going on. So now you want to go after all black children, and we're supposed to sit back as black Americans. Now we don't want crime. We're not saying that. But you're targeting. We're not the only ones that commit crimes, but we are the ones that people like Pirro highlights. And that's not right. Now black people in Washington, they're not criminals, but I would be afraid if I was a black person to walk the streets because you're a suspect for being black. That's the fact. You are a suspect. And that's what they're doing. And right now, they're trying to arrest. They're looking for people just to arrest so Trump can get a body count of we're doing our jobs. We're making it safer. But y'all are looking to arrest people who aren't even actively committing a crime.
It's Chico, see, but that's what that she's doing. You're ignoring all the crime that white people commit.
We all do.
You just ignore the mainstream media, the news shows all the crime black people are committing, which is unfortunate, but they don't show the crime that white people are committing.
They only show
commit more than us.
They only show one segment of people, and that's what the problem is, that when you have people come from other countries, the first thing they think and their impression of black people, not that we're successful, not that we're high earners and we're not living in poverty and we own single homes and we're educated, the first impression that they have, oh, you need to clutch your handbag, or this person is violent. And we're not walking around trying to be violent. Black people are kind. They'll give their coat off their back to anyone. We're supportive and we're caring people. But the media tries to take people who have done things, have committed crimes, and they're highlighted like the other communities aren't doing the same, and more and more. And so what they want to do is make Washington an example so they could go to the public. See, we reduced crime. Those numbers were wrong. They're trying to keep, who's that person that's supposed to fudge the numbers, Mr. Trump? You got to give us, who's supposed to fudge numbers? The crime rate is down. So it don't justify, so you're going to send the National Guards onto American citizens. We are American citizens. You only get the military on American citizens and the FBI. Instead of the FBI, 500 of them, instead of taking care of the 350 terrorists that are in this country, and we got these gangs, they're pulled from their jobs to do police patrol. They're like beat cops looking for a criminal. They're looking for someone.
Just showing that all the information doesn't add up. He used other countries to compare.
Yeah, he didn't compare to other cities.
Yeah. But
I'm going to show you the Baltimore mayor, how crime is down 62% implementing programs. There are all these cities that he's talking about, the crime rate is actually down considerably. Like in Baltimore, they got a 50-year crime low. A crime low. 50-year crime low. Because they implemented the programs. They got the kids off the street. They got programs going on. That's why we need our black men. Y'all got to save our children. Y'all can't allow this to be, they already got the playbook for 1994 crime bill. You get other black people agreeing. You get the clergy agreeing. You get all people, yeah, we'll be safe. Get the black people. They the problems off the street. That's the same 1994 playbook. And it worked before. And they're looking for it to work again. But we're not here for it.
See, Mom?
Huh?
Mom, they're not used to this. They expect us to blindly follow at whatever
Yeah.
Trump does. They're not used to people on YouTube to speak not for everything Trump
Well,
does.
other content creators, they want you to follow them, and they're going to speak the language that you want because they want their viewers, they want people, but they won't be honest. But I don't answer to men, I answer to God. And when I give an account to God, that's who I care about. I don't care what people think as long as I'm walking. I ask God in the name of Jesus, God, give me wisdom. Give me discernment. Let the meditation of my mouth be acceptable in thy sight. My Lord, my strength, and my Redeemer. Give me what to say. And this has been burning in my spirit. I had to have prayer for this. Has been burning in my spirit because there's a playbook that wants to be implemented, not just here, there in Washington, but throughout the United States. And this is where you gather up all our children, the next generation, enslave them, enslave them. And Trump said give them long sentences. That means give them life irregardless of the crime that might have been committed. That's what they're looking for. And it's the crime bill. The playbook already worked. Take it to Congress, they're a threat, get the threats. Now we all safe. How we safe when you got open borders? You got everything from Trinidad, Raga, cartel, terrorists. You got everything in this country. Black people are not the threat.
Like, instead of focusing on illegal immigrants, let's focus on black children.
Black children. Because of that one person that had gotten beaten up, they should have called 911. You don't go try to fight even teenagers or kids. You call 911. You get in your car, you call 911. That one person now, they want to lock up every child that they can possibly lock up. We're going to look at this. Oh, is this the one? Yeah, let's see.
A new video captured FBI and DEA agents patrolling the streets, and this is in Georgetown. Earlier, U.S. Army officials released these images of National Guard troops arriving along the National Mall. Now, all these images, a stark reminder of the unprecedented times we're living in here in the district. Some community leaders worry about the impact this could have on our younger residents. One nonprofit group we spoke with says local police are the best solution when it comes to policing our youth.
It's a group of individuals that care about their communities. It's a group of individuals that know the communities that they serve, and that shows up in the work that they do. When you have individuals that may not be from the district or anywhere adjacent to the district that are coming in with an expectation that they're going to produce law and order, that can create a level of tension.
Nonprofit groups like Good Projects are meeting with DC Mayor Muriel Bowser's team to offer community-based solutions. The mayor is also urging parents to step up.
I think we have some really, kids that are not criminals, but they are getting together in big groups and causing some really, they're causing destruction. Don't let your kids be a part of that. Like, know where your kids are and make sure they're not grouping together, because they will be a target.
They will be a target.
And in that same public meeting last night, Mayor Bowser forcefully pushed back against President Trump's claims that the district is dirty and full of crime. She says the district is beautiful already and accuses the president of mischaracterizing it on a national scale.
One thing that has everybody pretty mad, especially me, is the characterization of our city and our residents. We don't live in a dirty city. We are not 700,000 scumbags and punks.
Wow.
We don't have neighborhoods that should be bulldozed.
Now, as you hear the announcement has sparked some significant debate about the future of local governance in the nation's capital.
We spoke with DC Council Chairman Phil Mendelson about the move by President Trump. And like Mayor Bowser, Mendelson says Trump is wrong about crime in the district and that violent crime numbers, they're actually the lowest that we've seen since the 1990s. Wow. He called the president's actions a manufactured crisis that could do a lot of harm.
It creates a false narrative, a negative image of the city. That's going to deter tourism. It's unnerving to the business community. It's just harmful to paint the city as lawless with random gangs roving the streets.
The chairman said that he welcomes federal resources to help fight crime, but not this takeover, not the president's negative narrative. Now, we have seen so many of you posting photos and videos pushing back against the president's description of D.C. So now we want to know, what do you love about D.C.? Text the word love to 202-895.
Okay, yeah, so that's for people really that live there. And we want to hear, we're going to look up, I want to show you something else. But we're going to bring some of the teenagers on, the ones that actually live there, and get their perspective of how they feel about what's being implemented. See, they can't be kids. They are, like the mayor said, they are being targeted. And if you are a parent and you have a black child, a black American child, keep your kids in the house. This is not a time for them to be outside. It doesn't matter if they're not doing anything, if they're just walking down the street. It's never matter what they are doing. If they're out there, they're targeted, and it might not end well for them. So you have to protect your children. You have what's her name, Judge Pirro, that her objective is, like Biden said, that they're beyond the pale. You can't rehabilitate them. That, just lock the children up, and this way you can get 30, 40 years of labor out of them. Take their whole lives so that they can earn slave wages off of misdemeanors. It doesn't matter. And the chart she's showing, crime is awful, death is awful. It happens all over the country. You could live in Kansas, do the same charts with how many people got killed there. Or go to Cincinnati, go to different places of the country. You can do that anywhere in the country. You can do the same thing in that city. And you're going to have a chart, and then the people there are going to represent the community that are being killed, unfortunately. And the stereotypes that are going on, they have to stop, because it's a problem everywhere. But I think right now, I don't know if it's gaslighting, but we're not going to stand by and do a replay of the 1994 crime bill. It's not going to happen, because they're doing the same playbook. And then they got Congress, they have the House, they have the Senate, and they could pass these laws, and they could do these to these kids, children. We're talking about children. I'm not talking about the older people. My focus are the children.
It's pretty disappointing, because it's like Trump is undoing all the good he's done.
All we did was talk about how great he's been on this channel, that what Biden did in 1994 crime, but we should have never have voted for Biden, because he caused mass incarceration of black men and took the fathers out of the household, and these are the remnants of it. The children are in the street, and then they're not growing up with the same affordabilities that other different ethnic groups are able to obtain. So it matters when you have a role model in your house. You take the father out that's supposed to set an example. This is what happens. And we're going to look up the thing about what I said about brains.
Street Fit Nick, did your people go through and endorse slavery?
Ain't nobody on here could say that they people went through this. You're
is
black.
criticizing former Vice President Joe Biden over the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act,
was 2020.
which was signed into law in 1994. Biden, who was a senator from Delaware at the time, wrote the legislation. It is the largest crime bill in U.S. history.
This is what they want to do.
Funding for the hiring of police officers and the building of prisons. Here's Biden discussing the bill on the Senate floor before it was voted on in 1993.
We don't. They will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now.
There we
And
go.
Madam President, we have predators on our streets that society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created. Again, it does not mean because we created them that we somehow forgive them or do not take them out of society to protect my family and yours from them. They are beyond the pale, many of those people. Beyond the pale. And it's a sad commentary on society. We have no choice but to take them out of society.
Critics of the bill, like Mayor de Blasio, have called it a mistake and say that it contributed to a mass incarceration crisis. And Mayor Bill de Blasio joins me now. Mr. Mayor, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, Elaine.
So in an opinion column in Thursday's New York Times, Bret Stephens says Joe Biden should be proud of the crime bill because it helped make the country safer. You disagree with that. Why?
Yeah, Elaine, Bret Stephens wrote that column. He couldn't have been more wrong, and he absolutely ignored the hundreds of thousands of Americans unjustly sent to prison for long periods of time, the families torn apart, the effects of mass incarceration we are feeling to this day in New York and all over this country. And look, the crime bill was the foundation of that horrible era of mass incarceration. Look at the fact that so many people who have committed very minor offenses were sent away for so long. Look at the fact that the bill had a disproportionate impact on African Americans and
Black
Latinos,
communities.
and again had horrible impact on families that we're still feeling the effects of right now. That bill was a huge mistake, and we got to be clear about it, and we can never go back to mass incarceration. So, you know, the nominee of the Democrat Party has to be someone who says very clearly, mass incarceration was a huge mistake, the crime bill was a huge mistake, we're going forward in a whole new direction. And the other thing that the whole column got wrong was New York City, we are safer every year. We're the safest big city in America because we moved away from mass incarceration. We're arresting a lot fewer people. We arrested 150,000 fewer people in 2018 than 5 years earlier, and we got safer. We're not punishing people and trying to send them away. We're actually trying to work with communities, particularly to help our young people lead productive lives. We're not treating them like predators, we're treating them like human beings. And it's making a huge difference, and that's making us safer.
Why do you feel that focusing on the crime bill and on former Vice President Joe Biden, his support of the crime bill, is the political strategy that you want to pursue right now?
Look, a columnist in the New York Times today attacked me for saying out loud that the crime bill was a mistake and that we had to end the era of mass incarceration. And to be fair, as a conservative columnist, Brett Stevens. But you know, he was telling Joe Biden to be proud of the crime bill, you know, own it and say it was a great thing. That's a huge mistake. And I'm just speaking up and saying, no, that's an absolute misunderstanding of what happened over these years. New York City has gotten safer and safer because we moved away from that kind of divisive approach, that focus on arrest, that focus on mass incarceration. We got safer because we're actually trying to bring police and community together with mutual respect. And we are not going to allow people of color to be treated as if somehow they are lesser, particularly our young people. You know, in this city, under my predecessors, they were stop and frisk for a long time. Young people, young men of color, were treated like they were guilty of crimes that they never committed, they had nothing to do with. And they were consistently portrayed in a negative light. We ended all that and started respecting our young people of color and our communities of color. And it's made us safer. It's led us to the situation that we can heal the wounds of the past and bring police and community together. But the columnist in the Times today was suggesting that, you know, let's celebrate the crime bill, even though thousands and thousands of families were torn apart. And I'm not going to stand for that. I spoke up and I said that's an absolute misunderstanding of history. And look, Vice President Biden was one of the people who brought us that crime bill. He needs to own up to that.
While we have you, I'd also like to ask about Special Counsel Robert Mueller's Wednesday remarks. He declined to...
You know what, so that was former mayor of New York, de Blasio, and that was his take on the impact of the 1994 crime bill. That's when Biden was running for election in 2020, and he was one of the candidates. I got to meet all of them. I should put up all my videos with me, this so y'all can see who I am, who I really am. And I had conversations with former Mayor de Blasio when he was running for president. But I'm not going to sit back and watch like what's going on and not have a opinion about it. I'm not going to sit back, just like Dr. Martin Luther King said, when people are silent, you don't do anything. That's how evil prevails. You have to speak up.
I have to correct you. The reason we're falling apart is because of Joe Biden, not because of Donald Trump. I just had to correct you on that.
There's a lot that we still have to do, and there's a lot that's going on, but I see a repeat of history, and it appears that they're using the playbook of yesteryear. They're using the same playbook that they used to do the mass incarceration of black men. Now they're going after black children, and you got this Janine Piro, who they said was drunk. She was trending the other day because during the interviews it looked like she's drunk all the time, and she's supposed to be leading the way, but she has had racial undertones for years. Everything she says, she refers to black people as thugs, and when you label Trump as saying thugs, Elijah, you can look up the definition again. We can read what a thug, what it implicate when they say something like that. When you label children and people, and you're calling what they're not, it has a negative effect on them, and they know it. They know it, and this stuff has to stop. And we can't stand by and turn our children over to this government that for some reason feels as though black people are still a threat to them, It's black people, they want to paint us as uncivilized and like we are violent, and that's far from the truth.
And if you could
It's far from the truth.
If you could put up everything she's trying to get removed, like the rehabilitation center.
Yeah, I just did that earlier. That she wants to get things removed, and you have these people that's supposed to be smart and intelligent, and these adults, they should be able to come together and put together a plan that will help the community. I'm gonna do the tomorrow, because I'm probably not gonna do it tonight, about the situation with the homeless people. They're discarding them like they're trash. Like they're trash. Like okay, in modern America, especially in media, politics, and policing, the term thug is often used disproportionately to describe black men, even when similar behavior by white individuals is described using softer terms like trouble or rowdy. Trouble or rowdy, but we're, they're going to label us as thugs. Code word for the N-word. Many critics argue that thug is often used as a socially acceptable substitute for the N-word, especially in contexts where explicitly racist language would be condemned. Media bias. News outlets have a documented pattern of labeling black suspects or protesters as thugs, while white suspects, even mass murderers, are often humanized or not labeled as harshly.
They were bullied.
Yeah, they had problems growing up. Not us though. Protest context. So it's like a lot of stuff that goes on that the preparation of stereotypes using thug feeds into a long-standing stereotype of black men and inherently dangerous, violent, or threatening. So a perpetuation of it that people, they're feeding us. This is the influence. You hear it over and over again, but people that are white are doing these crimes and they're not nowhere near harshly depicted.
The example they use is pretty funny.
Yeah, a black person throwing a rock during a protest equals thug. A white college student flipping a car after a football game equals rowdy fan. That's the difference.
Double standard.
And we have to stop it. And now they're trying to roll back that 1994 playbook to do it to our children. And that's why I draw the line and say, you're not doing that to our kids. We got them. You're not doing it. You're not going to do that. I'm going to show you this.
I'm Janine.
This guy
Donald
is
Trump has
hype.
gotten the attention of Baltimore's mayor, D.O. Hughley, and others around the country after speaking on the city's crime in recent years and implementing new plans against crime in different cities. On Monday, Trump would announce his plans of deploying the National Guard across Washington, D.C. with hopes of reducing crime. He would also cite Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, Baltimore, and Oakland as other problematic cities when it comes to violent crime. Now, on Tuesday, a video would circulate from some showing federal agents harassing black residents in D.C. while in front of their homes.
In front of their homes.
You got your ID on you, chick?
Let's see your papers.
Well, no, I live right here.
Okay, cool.
There's a cigarette. Did y'all get a call or something about right here?
No, so we're doing checks, keeping everybody safe down here, right? Have you heard of the federal surge that Donald Trump's putting out?
No.
Right, you don't follow
No.
3 or anything like that? But no. Sorry, so yeah, Trump's got all federal agencies kind of coming together, 7 days going out, trying to stop the violent crime, all kind of stuff. So we're out here contacting people, talking to them, right? The quality of life offense is smoking, drinking in public, right? Can't happen outside, right? Most people know that. So we're contacting people, trying to advise them of the law so they learn, right? And then there's other stuff going on where it turns into, there's multiple agencies, there's a shooting and things like that. There's actually, right? So we're just out here trying to inform people, educate people. It's not like we're trying to just go grab people and ruin someone's life over a joint or something like that, right?
I only asked because when you walked up, at the moment you walked up, you only had asked me.
Yeah, well, it smelled like
the odor of marijuana, burnt marijuana in the air, right? And you're the only guy that had something lit in your hand, and I didn't flash first. So I didn't realize it was just a cigarette, so that's on me. I appreciate you understanding.
This moment would bring the problem which some see with Trump's recent decision front and center, that black citizens can now be even more targeted by law enforcement. D.L. Hughley would reshare the video on his Instagram account with the caption, "Already on the streets, going for Trump." Now, just before sharing that moment, Dia would also share a moment from Trump's press conference discussing the matter. In the video, it would go on to capture Trump speaking on police being able to practice retaliation.
You spit and we hit, and they get hit real hard. And people are spitting in their face and they're not allowed to do anything. But now they are allowed
Not
to
black
do
Americans,
whatever the hell
those
they
was
want.
illegals.
In response, Dia would write, "Using the police and National Guard as a goon squad and giving them a green light to do whatever they want is great." Now, outside of DL's response, many have taken to social media to react to the current Trump order. One social media user would pull out a map of Washington, D.C. and circle the White House as the heaviest crime zone in the area, a nod to Trump's multiple felony convictions, as well as others in the administration. Now, not everyone would be against Trump's decision. Some black residents would even tell local news how they welcome this new plan against crime.
We need all the protection that we can get in the city because the city is really getting dangerous. A person like me at this age, I have to make sure to come home before sundown.
Another pro-Trump perspective will come from a social media user who will make a video of himself walking through D.C. to show the alleged change made after Trump's order. The man will go on to praise Trump's newest move.
Man, down the city is quiet as a church mouse, yeah. I came all the way down Pennsylvania Avenue this morning. So peaceful, yeah. I don't smell no weed, yeah. I don't see no homeless people. I mean, I came all the way through the southeast side, all the way down here. You see now I'm at the White House jump, man. It's a shame that it takes somebody to have to sit in your classroom in order for you to be in order, yeah? Because that's what it feels like, yeah? You gotta be babysitted to do your job, yeah? You gotta do better, yeah? You gotta do better, yeah?
Okay, we don't want music.
It's always us. You see how long seconds was it last night?
He's putting music. They got a
Trump's first
copyright
comment,
issue.
Baltimore Mayor Scott will respond to the president by telling viewers each one of the cities named by him has a black mayor. Also, that he's distracting the public from issues the administration should be focused on, including the U.S. economy. Now, according to social media X account Free Black Thought, Scott's efforts of lowering the violent crime rate yielded excellent results. Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott has reduced his city's homicide rates by 62%. It hasn't been this low since 1978. In response, one social media user would explain he invested in the youth and put resources in the community. It's scientifically proven if you do that, crime goes down. That same social media account will go on to list 5 measures the Baltimore mayor implemented in order to bring the rate down. Those measures included a comprehensive violence prevention plan, which became effective from July 2021 and remains until June 2026. This plan treats violent crime as a public health crisis rather than solely a law enforcement issue, emphasizing prevention, intervention, and enforcement. That same source will go on to list the key components of the Comprehensive Violence Prevention Plan, which are targeting interventions for high-risk individuals, community engagement, and data-driven metrics. The second measure that brought down the Baltimore murder rate was Group Violence Reduction Strategy, which focuses on group-related violence by offering individuals to accept social services and support to exit violent lifestyles or face enforcement if they continue. The third measure focused on youth and equitable development, which focused on investments in after-school programs, mentorship, and job training to steer the youth away from violence. Now, the fourth measure included advocacy and partnerships with community organizations. The fifth measure was measurable outcomes and outgoing efforts. By July 2025, Scott announced continued historic reductions in violent crimes, with homicides at their lowest in 5 decades. Given that Baltimore appears to have already gotten a grasp on crime without force and these now raids, Do you think the Trump administration's recent moves are still necessary? And do you think this is the beginning for Black people to be even more targeted across the country? Let's talk about it more in the comments below. Let's save the day for the latest news and comedy by subscribing here to our YouTube channel and follow Comedy Hub across all social media.
Now you have he said he wanted to send the National Guard. See, this is like, he's trying to open up the door to arrest and enslave our young children. And that's what this is about. He's going to say at the end, look what we did. Washington is beautiful now, but you're displacing all these homeless people with nowhere to go. They said that the beds, that there's no beds. It's thousands of people that if they want to go to one of those dangerous shelters, that there's no beds. There's nowhere for them to go. And they don't care. They don't care about these people not having anywhere to go. And you're taking the only shelter they have, their little tents, and they're already outside with no resources, and they're in communities because they're from Washington, so they know where the soup kitchens are and the places that they can go to get the daily help that they need.
And also, you can't forget about the National Guard that will be harassing Black people, and there's ones that are power hungry and can be abusing and trigger happy with Black people.
They've always been trigger happy, and they've been allowed to get away with everything. Everything. Those kids don't have a chance. If they go through, they're going to follow the handbook of the 1994 crime bill, saying because of the youth, they're not talking about the adults, they're talking about kids. This woman is talking about children. Those pictures she showed, like the murderers or whatever, they weren't committed by the children, but they want the kids. Because if you're labeling them as thugs because they're Black, white people label them as rowdy. And you want to put them away. That's what DiMaggio said. That was a terrible thing that was done. Locking up and giving long sentences for petty crimes. That's what happens. They can get 40 years for a candy bar. You don't think that happens? People have been in jail for 30, 40 years for $9. And this is what happens. It's a lot of injustices that have been done to the Black community. But we have to take care of ourselves. And we can't sit back and allow our children to be attacked. We got to pray for our kids. They're going back to schools. You know, you got school shooters now. They got to go back to all kinds of bullying. You got people pushing gender on them. Like, it's okay to not accept your assigned at birth gender. You know, they got people pushing them back. Like, you don't need to be a boy. You can be a girl tomorrow. You know, it's crazy. And social media.
And I didn't really like Trump's Truth Social post where he was putting minors in quotation marks.
They know their children.
Referring to the black children.
But this is planned out. Yeah. They know the children, they can get 30 years of labor out of them. It's done purposely to go after the next generation of Black young people. And we are productive. Everyone's not impoverished, but the ones that are impoverished, like you got impoverished white communities, they don't highlight that. And they're committing more crimes. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. The selective media, how it only looks at Black people, and that's why people feel some type of way when they come to this country. They feel some type of way because Black people are the people that are highlighted. What?
It's about sports, big news.
Okay, wait.
It's about Youre. I'll tell you later.
Okay, yeah. Okay, we're going to put on some of the kids that are being affected that live in Washington and see what their take on it. You know, and everyone, this is not about against having policing and crime, but this is an overkill. This is making more of our people
United States Attorney for
uncomfortable.
D.C. Janine Piro called out D.C. youth. Some of the district's youngest residents are reacting to comments like this.
I see too much violent crime being committed by young punks who think that they can get together in gangs and crews and beat the hell out of you or anyone
Listen to
else.
this.
They don't care where they are.
They don't go around in gangs and stuff like that. Like, they go around with their friends to have fun, to go out and be with each other, not to beat people up.
Tell them.
It's just a messy situation because I feel like they're viewing it as young black kids. They just want to go out and they want to cause havoc and do anything they want.
We sat down with Christopher, Tristan, Lamar, and Blessing, all DC high schoolers and a part of the Community Action Group, where they provide presentations about drug prevention to their peers. They shared their thoughts about an increase in police officers, federal agents, and National Guard troops on DC streets.
Just like a way to make people feel like they're always being watched and always being observed.
And I feel like with the police business, sometimes that could be like helpful because that do like make the youth a little bit more on edge with what they do. When I see police, I think something bad happened. And sometimes when kids go out and then with the whole curfew thing, they just shut everything down.
Earlier this summer, DC's City Council passed legislation to enact a juvenile curfew after incidents involving large crowds of young people near the wharf, Navy Yard, and other parts of the city.
Entire neighborhoods are now under emergency curfews. Just this past weekend, gunfire went through, and you saw that the Navy Yard. I saw it this morning. They saw that they fought back against us. See, they fight back until you knock the hell out of them.
I mean, it's wrong on both sides. Kids sometimes do a little too much. They go overboard, but at the end of the day, we're all just kids.
Attorney Pirro brought up some of DC's laws and the limited powers she says she has to address repeat young offenders. Some of the young people we spoke with say they do believe that is an issue that needs to be addressed.
The laws are weak. I can't touch you if you're 14, 15, 16, 17 years old and you have a gun.
Basically, like,
you know, it's just so sad that black children are not viewed as kids. And I find that disturbing when you stop looking at children as children. But we can look at everyone, other race, whatever, that those are just kids, those are just children. Now, they didn't have a problem. Where's the, see if I can find something else. This right here that had taken place. See, a lot of stuff that goes on, people don't talk about it, and it's not a big deal. And you're not going to hear Trump or anybody talk about it. See? This goes on all the time, but this is on camera. Look at this. This person is knocked out. They're giving him CPR. Look at him, knocked him out in the water. Jesus Christ.
Back here for you online now from Boxing Road.
That's wild. That's wild. All that. And that was in Austin, Texas.
I feel sorry.
The police chief, yeah, and then like even the brawl that they said that happened with the people, I think it was in Cincinnati, they didn't arrest the white person that punched some of the black people in the face, and even the guy that was rushing, he the one went into the neighborhood and said, "Come on, fight me," and all that, just instigating.
I feel sorry for them too in Washington D.C. because
I'm glad
I myself have been harassed by police and people with positions above me. You know, and I'm someone who reads, my favorite book is Percy Jackson, but just because you're black, they'll stereotype you as a thief, as a criminal, as someone that can hurt people just for being black. So those people in Washington, D.C., like that video my mom showed you of them just going to be checking people.
They're asking for their papers. They're sitting on their steps. Imagine you're at your house sitting on your steps. And you have these FBI agents that are out there dealing with the terrorists. You're at home. They're even at home, sitting outside. And he's like, he doesn't have to show you his ID.
Yeah.
They don't have to. Nobody. You don't have to. They don't have to show you out there. He said, "What's going on? Did anybody do something?
Most people don't.
Or commit a crime? They just gonna go there and tell me, let me see your ID."
Yeah.
He said, "I'm at home. This is my house." Oh, you don't know what's going on? Oh yeah. Well, Trump said, like, empower just looking. See, now you're giving them permission. It's always been permission to attack black people, but now you're escalating it. But you can't have our kids. You can't have our children. They can't be rehabilitated. Pirro, you go after those other thugs of different ethnicities, but you can't. We're not gonna stand by like y'all did that 1994 crime bill and got us all about. We safer now. We're not safer because we had those open borders. So you coming for us, but you got 15,000 rapists walking around. You got 11,000 murderers, and Trump said that some of them had committed more than one murder. You got all these people walking around in this country now.
Don, this whole
we're the least threatening.
Don, this whole stream went right over your head to even say that.
You know, our channel is supporting Trump, but we're not going to support when everything that we said that you were for the black community, because you're going to still need a black vote. You're not going to do it without the black vote. And now more people that are black are voting Republican because of Trump. But now you don't flip the script. You're flipping the script. And you might gain, or you might think you're going to incarcerate because you have this Congress that will lock up our babies now. You're not even talking. Y'all don't even want the adults. That's the funny. Y'all don't even want the adults. Y'all want our babies.
And I don't.
Because and Trump talking about lock them up for a long time and give them life sentences, regardless. They're not going to jail for shooting and murder and all that. We give them life sentences. And he said, don't rehabilitate them. So they want to take away everything from these children when God has given all of us a purpose in life. To fulfill a purpose, and they all can learn how to, just like in Baltimore, that mayor, the crime rate is down 62% because they're giving them other opportunities. They're teaching them, they're mentoring them. They have programs for 62%. Isn't that the model that Washington should have done first?
Yeah,
and this all stems from Elon, because Elon he's a racist, and Trump is kissing his ring for some reason, and he's doing it because this one Doge guy had gotten beaten up, which people get beat up all the time, that are black, and now all the young kids are supposed to pay the price for that one white dude that had gotten beaten up. They should have called 911. So now all black children are thugs. He's calling all black kids thugs. So when you look at black children, instead of understanding that some of them have a 4.0 average, that they're scholars, that they are, they set example for their communities, and that's unfair to them.
Oh, thank you, Toothsake Johnson. He says, support this queen and her son. God bless you.
Yeah, and we're going against our, what people think, but Speak the Truth 2.0. We're not going to sugarcoat any issue.
And I don't like this narrative. I don't like this narrative that why Trump is doing this is because of the list. This is bigger than the list. This seems very discriminatory.
I don't know what's going on with him and Elon and this Epstein list or whatever that he feels like. This Doge, like Trump is showing him, I'm taking action because Elon come from Africa, South Africa, where they were extremely racist. He got plants in our black communities that's causing cancer in black communities with his AI development or whatever he's doing. So he's against us. And Trump is catering, just like he had all those South Africans come in and tell about they were being killed on farms. That was a lie. It's black people are the ones that's being killed. So it's so much. It's so many lies, but guess what? We are going to speak the truth because our focus is not on red or blue, it's on God. And thus far, we had liked everything Trump was doing, but you're not going to gaslight us on this playback of the 1994 crime bill. That's what y'all are doing. Y'all using that same playbook to move the same way, to try to get people on board, because the next thing you'll say, see what we did? Oh, it's safer now, it's cleaner now. You're displacing all these homeless people. I'm going to do something on that, what they're doing to these homeless people that are Americans and vets that are living in poverty that they're not doing anything for. But you're just going to move them out because you want it beautiful. And the mayor said it already was beautiful. He's not even being honest. I've been in Washington many times. I've been in the Capitol, through the corridors, all of it, for different legislative meetings and stuff.
Do you want to show the judge? Because she's playing a big part in this. That Judge Jeanine or whatever her name is.
Yeah, I showed her earlier.
Her recent meeting on Fox News.
Yeah, I did. I showed that with her a little earlier. But she's trying to...
And that one.
Yeah.
That all black people.
Yeah, of course, this is all about black people. Like, black people, they'll give you the impression that all the crime that's being done in this country are black people, and that's a lie from hell. That this is a stereotype, is a negative stereotype. We're not viewed like everyone else. They want to view black people like they're threats, and they're super predators. They're beyond the pale. That's what Biden said. Beyond, you can't rehabilitate us. You can rehabilitate anyone. And it's just awful that what has been going on and what continues to go on, even in 2025, we're still, as a community, going through the same bullshit. Same bullshit. All because they fear black people. For somehow, some reason, they said Trump did a study in 2018. He paid $600,000 when he was the president. Back then, the study, I think they were from Kenya. Because they were heterosexual men. They had stature. They were aggressive. They were men. And he wanted to know why, how come they didn't have the fear, or whatever the case may be. So this is because he wanted to see how he can tame and treat black men here, how to keep us still down. It's like this suppression. It's like want to keep black people underneath their feet. And we are not the same. And the media need to show us in our new light, or who we are in today's society.
I think also, like you said, going to those different countries, he saw how they were there, like where they lived at.
Yeah, but you can't discard the poor like that. Yeah. He went to these different countries and he's throwing these poor people that are living on the streets. Who wants to live on the street? He's discarding them like they're trash. Just get them out the way because that it's a terrible, the view. He don't want people coming to the country, and it's a, negative sight to behold. He doesn't want them to see this. But all these countries, they have poverty as well.
Needs to jump in, and we all need to do what we can in our space, in our lane, to protect our city. And to protect our autonomy, to protect our home rule, and get to the other side of this guy and make sure we elect the Democratic House so that we have a backstop to this authoritarian push.
Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser has shifted her tone toward President Trump during his second term, moving from confrontational to cooperative, though she did not hold back after Trump announced a federal takeover of the city's police. She also addressed youth violence, warning parents to keep children safe and avoid group gatherings that could make them targets.
Don't let your kids be a part of that. Know where your kids are and make sure they're not grouping together because they will be a target.
Over Memorial Day weekend, Bowser imposed a curfew citing troubling youth behavior. Her response has centered on monitored community hangouts to steer kids away from crime. Despite her criticism, Bowser met with Attorney General Pam Bondi, pledging to work closely as the federal crackdown unfolds. Trump's move to federalize the MPD comes after a violent attack on a federal staffer, sparking his call for drastic action. Roughly 800 National Guard troops are now assisting with logistics and patrols. The federalization will last 30 days, with 23 arrests reported on the first night.
This is a time where community needs to jump in, and we all need to do what we can in our space, in our lane, to protect our city, and to protect our autonomy, to protect our home rule, and get to the other side of this guy and make sure we elect the Democratic House so that we have a backstop to this authoritarian push.
Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel
Yeah,
Bowser has
so-
shifted her tone toward President.
The way that I look at it is like, no matter what, if you're black, you're a target, and those are facts. And what they have done, they have escalated you being a target, and now the children are being targeted. And we're not here for it. We support Trump. We support 99% of all the actions he has taken, that he has really had to clean up a lot of Biden's mess. But you can't have our children. You can have our kids. We're not giving you our children. So we're standing up, and we're going to speak out against it, because this is just he's using a 1994 playbook that they did, causing mass incarceration of black men. But now they want the children. He said he wants them to go away for a long time. He doesn't want them to be rehabilitated. You know, even former Mayor de Blasio said that they were over sentenced. That what they did to our communities is, is terrible. It's terrible. Some people are still suffering from it today, and now you want to take away the future of our children, to enslave them so that they could do slave labor for the next 30 years. That's your new slave group you want for America. You're looking to arrest kids, and we are arrested as a community 5 times more, not committing crimes. You see, just because you're black, 5 times more. We're not even the people at the top of the food chain. You would think so from the media, and I think that it was terrible to have your president labeling your children as thugs. When he said that to all black families. You said it to all black families, and that's not true. And we got to get rid of these stereotypes. He won't talk about the Target killings, the mass shootings, the CDC shootings. He won't talk about all the stuff that's going on in all the red states, because they shooting and killing. The statistics show it. Go look at my Mayor Bowser. I think the video was yesterday or the day before. I put all the statistics up there.
Okay.
Who has the highest crime rate for rapes, murders, theft, everything.
Okay, Jane, we're not gonna play dumb, because if you even have been paying attention, black people have been harassed by the police.
Yeah.
They've been abused by the police. They've been even killed by the police, who haven't committed a single crime.
Haven't committed
so
any
you can't
crime.
say just don't commit the crimes so you won't do time.
Well, white people say that.
Yeah.
But white people are doing the crimes too, more at a larger rate, and they're not even prosecuted at the rate we are, but they still at the top of the food chain. Still. They don't even get charged like us. And they still at the top of the food chain. And that's being honest. So that goes for all communities. All communities. You could get arrested being black, not committing a crime. You could be killed as a black person, not committing crime. You get stopped, and your tail light is out, and you're just supposed to get a ticket and be shot to death. You could be playing a part. You could be sleeping in your bed and the cops come and get killed. You could be playing with your nephew video games in your home. So, and the police already know they restrain from the illegal immigrants, because they have an anti-hate crime bill that the black people have been asking for since we've been here over 400 years. You can't touch them. They're the ones that's catch and release. She's talking about catch and release. This goddamn Pirro. They got catch and release. They've been kicking cops in the head, throwing bricks, stones, beating them up, doing all kinds of stuff. But you don't see black people doing that. Ever. So that we're going to be real on here. We're going to be real. And they're catch and release. And they are criminals. They're actually criminals. They rape a little kid, they let them right back out. They doing everything, and all that energy now Trump switching it to black people because of Elon Musk. That somehow this man got some kind of hold on. One white dude get beaten up, and the whole black community for all 50 states, wherever we are now labeled. No.
You're just making things up a lot.
No, we're not going for that. You're not going to label all black young people as thugs or black men as thugs and stereotype us. That ends today.
There's one guy in the chat saying
Right.
that black people play a game where it's called knock the white person out.
You know what? I don't even. Yeah, white people play a lot of games too. Well, they all do. But you know, she need to do statistics and put them charts up in one of those red states and see what this chart looks like, the community looks like. Because they have a higher crime rate. White people have a higher crime rate. Put those same charts up. We want less crime. We are for crime, but you're targeting. You're looking to arrest people that's not committing crimes. Just to say that they can come on TV tomorrow. But we arrested 25 people. For what? They're not even out there doing anything. They know they got them there. They're, you know, but you got to have the numbers. Because now he's going to do his big news program. Oh, see, now it's safe. Now we'll go to other. No, do what Baltimore's doing. Baltimore mayor, crime down 62%. And they have programs that are working for the youth. Do that. That all should be your first alternative if you're for America first. You want to do this to Americans? National Guards? You're sending the military on Americans? Seriously? And that's why people say you didn't do it for January the 6th. But you want to do this on children? No. No. We'll be on here as much as possible. We'll be in Washington. Whatever we need to do, God willing. We're not going back. We're not going back. Like DiMaggio said, it should have never happened. We're not going back to that playbook. They gaslighting us, and they're doing that 1994 playbook that caused mass incarceration. Because they're trying to make it like the biggest threat in this country are not black young people. It's not black men. That's not the biggest threat in this damn country. And y'all all know it. You got the news media and all these different avenues of bringing out news that they all want to label us like that. When we're not even the top of the food chain that's committing these crimes. And everybody else that commit crimes, they won't even call a mass freaking killer a thug. Come on now. We're tired of being misrepresented. You know, they're going to misrepresent us. We're tired of it. This is our second live today. I am really getting tired. But this has to be said. We're going to do more on this topic. We're going to bring people on to discuss this topic. Because this is a problem when certain people are in charge. Whether the Democrats did it, now we got the Republicans doing it. We have to talk about this. Judge, or whoever your title is now, you can't have our children. We're not going for the okie doke. Put your damn grandkids in jail. Put your damn kids in jail. Your grandkids. See, they fine because they white. So you're not going to talk about your little grandkids. They precious. Trump called people beautiful. They white. Oh, these beautiful. No, we're beautiful. Black is beautiful. You got to do right by God's people.
What are we responsible for?
It's not right. And that was over that one issue. That should have never happened. But you're not going to make every kid and a black child, black person in America pay for it. We got other problems. But y'all protecting all the illegal immigrants, provide luxury apartments, supply Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. One lady, she had $30,000. They gave her $30,000. She spent it in 10 months and crying for more money. Illegal immigrant. They gave her $30,000. We're not even talking about the food stamps. But y'all not taking care of the vets? They on the streets. And in Washington, y'all want to take away their encampments? Okay. Make it make sense. I'm for our homeless, our vets, our military. I'm for our police officers. We're not for the bad ones. And just like the cops, you don't want the bad ones to be the poster child for the police department. You want the good ones. that to be focused on.
Look, Mom,
What?
come look at this.
Well, report them. Report them. That reporting goes both ways. Get their names. Nah. First, you got to see who they are. Okay, who is that? Write down. Scaly Wolf. Okay, get there down. Take a picture of it and report them. That goes both ways because this is America. We have freedom of speech and we're speaking the truth. We're speaking the truth. And if you don't like what we said, there's 1,000 other content creators or channels that you can go to and they'll say what you want to hear. You know, but we're going to get rid of these stereotypes about black people and about our children. And you can't have them. But this is a 1994 playbook that's in action.
How do we
And
have...
no weapon formed against us shall prosper, and in every tongue that rise up in judgment, thou shalt condemn. That's our heritage as children of God. And the Lord said he would cause thy enemies to rise up against thee, to be smitten before thy face. They should come out against thee one way and flee before thee in seven. That he who dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I'll say to the Lord, he's my refuge, my strength, my God, in him will I trust. And no evil shall befall thee. So we're covered with the blood of Jesus from the crown of our heads to the soles of our feet. And we're going to stand on righteousness.
No, we saw that racism was when Joe Biden's 1994 crime bill and Kamala being the district attorney locking black people up for life who didn't even commit the crime. That's where we saw racism.
And we're concerned that they're using the same playbook in this administration. They're running it back. So anyway, you guys, we got to eat dinner. Thanks for joining us. This is a big discussion. We want to do one that we'll do a panel. So bring like one of the people on, one of our members on, or one of our moderators on, and we're going to take this further because this is not like an overnight fix. And we're going to be streaming when he meets with President Putin in Alaska, Trump, and the phone call wherever he's going to make to Zelensky, and Zelensky's still, he like a little chihuahua right now, but that's why he can't be at the big boys table right now. These two world leaders have to come together, and Trump will know, like he said, within a couple of minutes, he'll know whether there's going to be able to make a deal or not. But somebody's going to have to both of them going to have to give up different, territories.
I don't like that there was a report that Zelensky's going to talk to Trump first on the phone.
Well, he gotta get his Trump. He don't rule anything. Zelensky's at the little boys' table. He wants power. He knows as long as the war is going on that he can remain president. So it's everything got a lot of politics that's going on. But be about the people. Be about life. Be about doing what's right. That's all. Do what's right. Not try to impress men. It don't matter if people like you. If they don't like you, they not taking care of you. Just do what's right. Be an example for your children. Bless your children. They're going back to school. School is tough now. They got to go through bullies. They got to go through so much. Teachers. I mean, it's crazy out here. I see how the adults are. So imagine what the children, and we want the children to behave a certain way, but look at the examples. The examples. People don't want to get the same grace that God has given them. You don't get nobody grace, but you want grace. You're going to need God one day. If you don't need him now, keep living a while. When you run into problems or situations, you're going to need somebody to give you grace. But people, they think they bigger than God. Oh, like this and that. No, you're not. You're not. So we give everything we do, we give it to God. Because we're not all-knowing. None of us are. And that's why we have to pray. And your kids are going to be going back to school. Pray for them. They got so many influences. And I don't want black children, don't go back to school afraid of what's going on with the president is saying. You have the president of the United States. That's what had got me. You got the president of the United States labeling black children. All of them. Labeling. That he don't even want their kids, but they're minors. No, it's not a but. They're kids. And kids do get in trouble. White kids get in trouble. Black kids, they all do.
It's just shocking to
But
see.
it shouldn't be a life sentence for it unless they did get a body.
It's just shocking to see that they're taking this approach instead of helping the children. They're
Yeah.
trying to just
Because they want to enslave them, and they could use the next 30 years for slave labor, slave wages. That's how you continue slavery. They put them in prison. So they don't want the older people. They want the kids that they could get decades out of them. That's why Trump said lock them up for a long time. No, give all them life sentences. Don't rehabilitate them. It doesn't matter if they could get a PhD in 5 years and they got purpose. They're inventors. They could be doctors, engineers. They could cure cancer. They could be, just be an asset to the human race. They could go to the military. If they want to fight, let them go in the military, fight for this country. That's honorable. It's honorable. Show them, teach them discipline. That's what the military, teach them discipline. They need discipline. Not to lock them up and throw away the key and put them with adults where they can be raped and abused and all that, and they're kids, and nobody can help them.
And have to join a gang.
No. The president of the United States should not have labeled all the black kids like that. So every cop and everyone seeing, we already got stereotyped. When you got the president saying that, and I read what thug means. That's another word of the N-word.
It's a coded N-word.
It's a coded word. You want to keep us like every time you see someone black, when they are scholars, successful, driving luxury cars, living in mansions. Come on now. We're not impoverished like that. Some people still need help, but that's not the whole black community, people. This is crazy.
We're totally against Trump on this, and this made me
totally against him on this.
Look at him a little differently.
Yeah, honestly. You gotta I'll just read. We gotta get off for people that didn't hear it.
MAGA, but it makes me look at him differently, though.
Yeah, but this is how we feel. As a longtime Trump supporter, I never thought I'd be questioning the direction this movement is heading. But here we are. In this video, we'll take a hard look at Trump and Judge Janine Piro recent push to roll back parts of Biden's 1994 crime bill. While it may sound like justice reform on the surface, it's raising serious concerns. Black children and teens are once again being caught in a political crossfire with harsh sentencing and aggressive policies threatening to send a new generation to prison. This isn't America First justice system we were promised. This channel is about honest conversation, even when it means holding our own side accountable. That's what I wrote. That's what this was all about. We said if we're not for something, we're going to say it. We're not one-sided like mainstream media and some of your other content creators. They go along to get along. We're going to call out what we're not in agreement with, just like we call out the million things that we are in agreement with. But you can't have our children. You can't label them thugs. You and Jeanine.
Then they had that one racist YouTuber.
Pirro, huh?
They had that one racist YouTuber at the press briefing.
Yeah, Benny Johnson.
Yeah.
He's a #1 racist. These people are so happy. They think that white, so they might as well get T-shirts called, white supremacy in at its best. Mm-hmm. I mean, they really think that they have arrived. But you know what? God said, whoever be on the top can be on the bottom at the end. You can't, Jesus is coming back sooner. Everybody need to get their life right. But, guys, thanks for joining us. Thank you for spending this time with us. And just like I said, here we are. We didn't think we would be having this conversation. But it took that one incident to have this president sending the National Guard into a United States, it's not even a city, it's a borough, the District of Columbia, and go after the black children. So all of them, you got this crazy judge that he brought in from Fox News, that this has been her lifetime goal to lock up every black child she can to take away their future. Irregardless, no rehabilitation, no second chance, no nothing. We're not giving them to you, lady. We're not giving them to you.
Dang.
We're going to fight y'all on this one because y'all trying to do that 1994 crime bill. And I'm so surprised that we're having this conversation. But we're not thugs.
I can already see she's a judge that gives no grace.
No, she goes by the color of your skin.
Yeah.
She got this pigmentation thinking that because you're white that makes you superior. But God, you're not. You're not. You're not. We're all on human beings. We're all on the same playing fields. Some people are just more ruthless than others. That's the only difference between black and white. But God made all our brains the same. There is no one that's smarter than someone else or born smarter. It depends on your environment and how you were brought up. You can search that. Ask Siri, Google it, ask chat, ask AI. You could find that out. Because some people that are Caucasian, they think, oh, no, you're not smarter. Your opportunities have just been different than some other ethnicities. That's it. But we all can get there and be on that same level and same thinking power. So anyway, you guys, there's a lot that's been said, but we're going to revisit this because we know as this continues, more is going to go on. We're going to bring somebody on live that they can join in the conversation and they can give their viewpoint. If y'all want it in the future, y'all want us to hear your viewpoint, y'all can always super chat us. This way we can see your comments will stand out. So anyway, we get ready to jump off. It's time for dinner. Thanks, guys. We're not thugs. We are law-abiding Americans, citizens. We are American citizens. And we're one nation under God, and we need to treat each other with the respect and stop the name calling and stop labeling an entire community of Americans. That's what our goal is, to stop labeling us unjustly and falsely. Stop it.
There's a lot of racist people in these comments.
It's okay. I don't care. They
With
you
no
know,
profile picture,
they're going to answer to God. Everybody going to answer to God. It doesn't matter. God got this. God got this. He already said no weapon formed against us shall prosper. And every tongue that rises up in judgment thou shalt condemn. So we're covered with the blood of Jesus, but we're going to speak the truth. And you're going to answer to God. You could be racist or bigot. You could be whatever you want to be. You could believe with the media. They just take Black people and they use these stereotypes and all the crime that's happening in this country. They want to highlight anything Black people do, but they're not showing you what other ethnicities are doing, especially like the white race that have a higher crime rate in just about every subject you can think of. You can look at my mayor. I'm gonna put that in a video that you can watch after this video, and I'll put the statistics up that you can see the statistics from the FBI, from them, the crimes and the type of crimes and what's being committed inside of this country. But we're the target. We're the target, though. And that's not right.
So I just got to read this comment.
Huh?
This is just a complete delusion. They said everything happening to your community has happened to the Latino community. You applauded it, cheered for it. Shame on you.
You know what? Y'all have not experienced. The devil is a liar. Were you enslaved? Did you come here as a slave? Were you in slave group? Because I believe that Black people built this country, that we were enslaved. That was free labor. Don't come for us. You have no other ethnicity have experienced what Black Americans have experienced in this country. Don't do that. Tell me what Hispanics. We're not cheering anything on. No, everyone should be treated with respect and dignity. Every culture. And Americans, we all have stuff to contribute in this country. But labels should not be made by our leaderships, by our president. You can't label a whole race of people. We got a lot of other problems here. You know, we respect President Trump so much, and this terrible incident that happened to that former Doge employee triggered all the, white people. And, oh, look, they beat them up. So you're going after the children because they were, let's prosecute. Throw away the key. No rehabilitation, no secondary. Let's go after the children. Let us do that to y'all kids. Hell no.
I know the racism.
Hell no.
Racism.
We're not giving you the okay. Trump and Pirro to come after our children. Go after your children. We're not doing that. That's wrong. And I already put, you didn't see the video earlier, I put on former Mayor DiMaggio, and he was saying what happened with that 1994 crime bill was such a injustice done to the Black community that we're still going through it today, removing the fathers out the household. It's a negative impact on society. And y'all trying to take our next generation. They're trying to lock up our next generation of children. Wow. Can't label everyone for what few people have done.
No, listen to what the judge says. She has said she doesn't care what age you are, 14, 15, 16. She said
12, 13, 14. She doesn't care.
Yeah.
She doesn't care. But go into the other communities with the same energy. If you look at our videos, we read a lot of things. Her stance, what she's for. She's been a racist all along. She's in happy land right now. Yeah. Because this is what she wants to do. And that's why Trump got her here. This is not just something that happened. They be planning this stuff months ago. They just was able to have a reason now to implement what they really want to do.
Tara, you're missing the whole point of this stream.
But we're not here to like it. Y'all got to just watch the entire video. If you miss anything, watch the entire video. Because we got a lot of jewels in it. And you just have to watch it. But we're going to get off of here because we're not trying to convince you or prove it. Y'all here, y'all live just like we do. Y'all know the injustices that have been done to Black people, especially if you're American. You already know. It's no secret. The secret is out. It's no secret.
We wanted to be separate, but the slave masters brought us over to this country.
We're the only people that came over here as slaves.
Yeah.
So you don't talk about what Hispanics are. Y'all ain't nobody go. That didn't happen to y'all. Y'all ain't go through. And just in case y'all missed the why we're so adamant about this, we're going to jump off. I'm gonna play the effects from DiMaggio, the 1994 crime bill, the effect that it actually had on American
However, noted Justice Department policy prohibits indicting a sitting president. What's your response to that?
I think Mueller sent all the possible signals he...
Okay, I want to go back to when... We'll go here.
Absolutely ignored the hundreds of thousands of Americans unjustly sent to prison for long periods of time, the families torn apart.
Okay, that's not starting it early enough. Okay, let's start.
Society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created. Again, it does not mean because we created them that we somehow forgive them or do not take them out of society to protect my family and yours from them.
Same talk.
They are beyond the pale, many of those people. Beyond the pale. And it's a sad commentary on society. We have no choice but to take them out of society.
Critics of the bill, like Mayor de Blasio, have called it a mistake and say that it contributed to a mass incarceration crisis.
This is what
and
we
Mayor
don't
Bill de
want to
Blasio
happen.
joins me now. Mr. Mayor, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, Elaine.
So in an opinion column in Thursday's New York Times, Brett Stevens says Joe Biden should be proud of the crime bill because it helps make the country safer. You disagree with that. Why?
Yeah, Elaine, Brett Stevens wrote that column. He couldn't have been more wrong, and he absolutely ignored the hundreds of thousands of Americans unjustly sent to prison for long periods of time, the families torn apart, the effects of mass incarceration we are feeling to this day in New York and all over this country. And look, the crime bill was the foundation of that horrible era of mass incarceration. Look at the fact that so many people who have committed very minor offenses were sent away for so long. Look at the fact that the bill had a disproportionate impact on African Americans and Latinos, and again had a horrible impact on families that we're still feeling the effects of right now. That bill was a huge mistake, and we got to be clear about it, and we can never go back to mass incarceration. So, the nominee of the Democrat Party has to be someone who says very clearly, mass incarceration was a huge mistake, the crime bill was a huge mistake, we're going forward in a whole new direction. And the other thing that the whole column got wrong was New York City, we are safer every year. We're the safest big city in America because we moved away from mass incarceration. We're arresting a lot fewer people. We arrested 150,000 fewer people in 2018 than 5 years earlier, and we got safer. We're not punishing people and trying to send them away. We're actually trying to work with communities, particularly to help our young people lead productive lives. We're not treating them like predators, we're treating them like human beings. And it's making a huge difference, and that's making us safer.
Why do you feel that focusing on the crime bill and former Vice President Joe Biden, his support of the crime bill, is the political strategy that you want to pursue right now?
Look, a columnist in the New York Times today attacked me for saying out loud that the crime bill was a mistake. And that we had to end the era of mass incarceration. And to be fair, I was a conservative columnist, Brett Stevens. But he was telling Joe Biden to be proud of the crime bill, own it and say it was a great thing. That's a huge mistake. And I'm just speaking up and saying, no, that's an absolute misunderstanding of what happened over these years. New York City has gotten safer and safer because we moved away from that kind of divisive approach, that focus on arrest, that focus on mass incarceration. We got safer because we're actually trying to bring police and community together with mutual respect. And we are not going to allow people of color to be treated as if somehow they are lesser, particularly our young people. In this city, under my predecessors, they were stop and frisk for a long time. Young people, young men of color, were treated like they were guilty of crimes that they never committed, they had nothing to do with, and they were consistently portrayed in a negative light. We ended all that and started respecting our young people of color and our communities of color, and it's made us safer. It's led us to the situation that we can heal the wounds of the past and bring police and community together. But the columnist in the Times today was suggesting that, let's celebrate the crime bill, even though thousands and thousands of families were torn apart. And I'm not going to stand for that. I spoke up and I said that's an absolute misunderstanding of history. And look, Vice President Biden was one of the people who brought us that crime bill. He needs to own up to that.
While we have you, I'd also like to ask.
Yeah, so that's just a repeat, and that's what we don't want to happen again. They were pulling people, sending people to jail for minor infractions and receiving extra long sentences, and now everybody of every ethnicity commits crimes. And we brought in 14 million illegal aliens that are committing crimes that's on a whole nother level. But then the Trump administration is going after Black Americans, and they're using that same 1994 playbook, and we're not going to allow that. We're not going to allow that. And that's not excusing people that commit crimes, but this is being targeted. And you have the president labeling children, all Black children as thugs, Black people as thugs. Those labels carry a lot of weight. So when you go in the store and you're spending your money and you're shopping, that you'll watch more, you'll view more. It's like if somebody is beating on you and you call the cops are going to take you down because of the color of your skin, not the perpetrator. So there's a lot that goes into, especially when you have someone in the highest office as Trump, labeling a community of people that fathers and mothers have voted to put him in office. They didn't vote for this, and the Republicans are people are going to start backtracking from electing them into office. So this is like a thin line. They felt like they got the playbook from Biden. Let's run it back. We could convince them, yeah, you're safer now. We got the thugs, and we're not the thugs on the streets. Stop saying that. Our kids are in school with goals and dreams and purpose. Stop saying that. You go to any community, any red state, pull up those charts and show the crimes committed, because white crime is at a higher rate than Black crime. But they're not showing you that, right? It's okay. We're going to show it to you. So anyway, you guys, don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe, and notification bell. And my other channel I started called Pray to All Here. And we got some new we didn't show. We'll show it the next time. We got a Speak the Truth 2.0. Go check out our website, speakthetruth2.0.com. And we have merchandise on there. Huh?
It's spelled differently now.
How did we spell it?
We spelled out Speak the truth too, then spelled out point.
Oh yeah, speak the truth too. You gotta spell the word point 0.0.com because we couldn't do the dot on there. Speak the truth 2.0. So speak the truth. Did you put it in the description? Did you put a link in there to the website? Yeah, you got it. We're going to add the link to the website now to make it easier, but it's speakthetruth2.0.com. But you have to spell out the word point. So anyway, you guys, thanks for joining us. God bless all of y'all. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's going to be a big day on Friday when Trump meets with President Putin. We're going to see if their war's going to come to an end. If it doesn't come to an end, they're going to fight it out. And we're going to take it from there. We already talked about that like yesterday, so I'm just too tired to go into it. But anyway, you guys, thanks for joining us. And don't become a member of Speak the Truth 2.0. We cover everything. And it's great to have conversation, to agree to disagree. That's just life. Everybody can agree about everything. So anyway, thanks, guys. Thank you for our moderators that were on, and thank you to our members. God bless you and take care.